Here he is from New York. That Kevin McCullough.
Welcome back. My next guest is someone that I needed no introduction to because I was a fan dating all the way back to his portrayal of one of the more memorable characters in the Band of Brothers, quite a while ago. But he has since had very good roles on Suits and Yellowstone and a number of other series that you've probably heard about. But he's also in his newest project called The Shift by Angel Studios, portraying a very bedeviling character called the Benefactor. Please, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome Neil Mcdonough. Hello, Neil.
Hey, Kevin, how are you? Thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely. So it's not your typical holiday fare. In fact, it's a telling of the biblical story of Job, and it's pretty hard-hitting, but I would say at the same time I found it to be immensely moving. You get to play kind of the bad guy in this, but what was it about the project as a whole that caught your eye?
Oh, wow. There was so much to it. When I read the script, it really, were you saying that's not really a Christmas film? That's where it's, I equate this to kind of It's a Wonderful Life. They're putting the lead character through the ringer, and Christopher Palaha just does it so darn well. And I get to play the Barrymore character, the very, but more than that, I play the benefactor who's basically Lucifer. But the way that originally this project came to me, I said no, because I said, I played so many great villains, but I don't think I can play the devil. That's going a little too far. And then my wife and I prayed over it and talked about it. And she said, well, look, you're probably the best villain in Hollywood. You have one of the best relationships with God of any actor in town. You kind of have to play this part because they asked you to do it, so you should do it. And see if you can infuse something different into the devil that hasn't been seen before. Maybe humanity, maybe something, because at one point, Lucifer was one of God's guys, and he fell off the rails. And we all, at times in our lives, fall off the rails and do things that we're not proud of. And it's how you get back up that dictates what kind of man or woman you are, especially for him. And at the end of the film, you see Lucifer really grappling with the idea of, my gosh, does this guy have so much faith in God after the torture that I put him through? And he wishes he had that love for God still. He wishes he could figure out how to go back to his old ways. And to see to actually kind of have feelings of sympathy for the devil at the end was something that I never would have gotten to had my wife Reve not kind of challenged me on digging deeper into this character, not just playing a character, but really just going for it. And me being a method guy, I love dredging up all the stuff that I can to make the performance as good as possible, because I like to entertain people. My dad said, if they give you $1, give them $2 worth of effort. So I always pride myself on that Irish hardworking lunch pail mentality of acting. So I'm very, very proud of The Shift.
Yes, as the McCulloughs and McDonoughs would know growing up, we've been challenged that way a lot. I just want to say that Neil's one of the hardest working guys in Hollywood. He's on the set of a current project, and he's got new stuff lined up coming down the path. I do know that Chris talked about working with Angel Studios being kind of revolutionary in his thinking, because, and you've experienced this, you've been on sets where you don't know if the project's going to be financially viable. You don't know if people are going to put their fannies in seats to go see it. And yet the kind of wild thing about Angel Studios is that it's completely funded by the people who will go see it, and they've already decided so in voting with their dollars to make it.
Well, they had 6,000 people chip in money, from $5 to thousands of dollars. So you have this built-in audience that really cares about their precious baby, especially, this one, The Shift, which was really kind of top to bottom all the way through the Angel Guild and the formats that they did and how they put it all together. And so they have a built-in massive fan core, which is unlike any other studio in Hollywood. And then whatever money they put in, Angel matches the rest, and then you get the budget for your film. So you take a director like Brock Heasley, a first-time director, they gave him a healthy-ish budget to tell his first film, and people are really gravitating towards this film because there really isn't anything out there on the landscape that the whole family can go to and kind of talk about the movie when you're done anymore. those days seem to be long gone, and it's too bad. And Hollywood makes a very dark, different type of fare, and I'm guilty of being part of a lot of it. But now that I have the opportunity to make films that amplify light, especially now that we have the Mcdonough Company as a first look deal with Angel Studios, that every project that I write is always kind of in the same wheelhouse as Angels. So we decided, well, let's work together and build more projects, TV or film, that really amplify the light in life, and that the whole family can watch together and be part of something. And speaking for Reve, I couldn't be happier to be working with Angel Studios for a very long time to come.
Well, I want to not give the whole story away, but I want to compliment your portrayal that you were talking about at the end of the show, because I've always thought, Job's the oldest book in the text of Scripture. So the portrayal of Lucifer is not long after the fall, if right around the time of the fall. And so there's the whole angel of light and deception. There's a couple of times when the Chris character, who happens to be named Kevin, actually accuses the Lucifer character of being dishonest, of being a liar, which we know is a scriptural name that he's given. And even towards the end, when you're compounding all the emotion in that final scene, there's this struggle in your character to not want to break his own character in terms of telling the lies, but you see the evil starting to kind of seep out in ways that it hadn't previously in the film. And I just have to say, on the scale of everything that I think the average moviegoer expects out of films nowadays, especially mainstream films, you get the full emotional gamut of what these characters are grappling with. And Neil, this has been missing in family-oriented entertainment for a long time. And Angels, of course, with The Chosen success, has really exploded on the scene with this. But there is an element to this movie that is so raw. You can take anybody who's on any level of their faith journey to see it, and they're going to be moved by the story. Yeah,
I think, look, the films that Reve and I want to put out there and keep putting out are, at the end of the film, it should challenge you to be a better human being.
Neil Mcdonough, time has been way too short. Thank you for being with us. Come back on your future projects. We'd love to talk about what you're doing in the future as well. But thanks for this offering for our families for this holiday.
Awesome. Thanks, Kevin. God bless you and everything you do. You have a great show.
Coming right back from Times Square, it's That Kevin Show. Don't change the dial.
Christmas time.